D. I'm so excited, as always, about all my episodes. Today, we're going to be talking to another fantastic woman. And I don't want to say this episode proceed with caution, but we are going to talk about a sensitive topic and something that definitely needs more awareness and just kind of normalizing mental health, what it's like, and how people live with dealing with mental health challenges, because that really is important. I know, or maybe we may know someone that may be dealing with it, and maybe you don't know how to approach it, what to say, what to do. So my hope with my guest, who's joining us all the way from India, which makes me so excited, we'll shed some light, and we're here to help people, inspire people. So we're just going to jump right into it and say hi to Tabassum. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you
Okay,
did.
cool. So how are you feeling this morning / evening, because it is nighttime
It's
for you?
nighttime for me. Yes, it's nighttime for me. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very excited for what is to come during this session. Really excited.
Yes, we're really excited to have you here. You know, when we initially spoke, I just thought you were amazing. I felt inspired the last time that we spoke, and I was just like, oh wow, like if she can overcome, her own personal things, then so can everyone else. And I thought you were amazing, and I'm so happy that we crossed paths.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is something that can be done, even if you're going through something difficult, even if you have a mental illness, you can still, carry yourself in a way that you want to.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree. And I just enjoy the spirit that you're in, and you're pretty positive, and you're just doing the doggone thing.
Well, I would like to say that it took a lot of work to get to be feeling this way. Yeah.
No, but that's if we're not working towards it, then it's hard for us to see the results. So,
Right,
kudos to
right.
you, and I commend you for that. That's half the
Yeah.
battle, putting in the work.
It is. It is. Yeah.
So can you I guess just share a little bit about, some of the mental health issues that you've kind of struggled with, and what 3 things you would like people to know about schizophrenia?
About schizophrenia. All right. So first of all, hi everyone. I'm Tabassum. I'm 22 years old and I'm a freelance content writer. And I'm also enrolled in a master's course in psychology. And 3 things that people should know about me and about schizophrenia. So I was diagnosed when I was 16 with psychosis, and under psychosis schizophrenia. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. It is in fact the most dangerous. It is said that it is the most dangerous psychotic illness in the world, and it happens to only 1% of the world's population. So
Oh.
maybe I just I like to think of myself as someone who's rare and unique.
Yeah,
um yeah, but 3 things about schizophrenia. It is very difficult. I mean, for me, in the first few years, since I was a teenager, uh, add something upon teenage years, like teenage years are already so painful,
challenging.
yeah, challenging, and adding to it mental illness when you're that young, you don't, or you already don't know what's happening to you, so it becomes a little more difficult. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so schizophrenia is challenging, but it is something that can be managed. It is a chronic illness, but it can be managed with medicines and other things as well if you seek therapy.
That's cool. So how did you, I guess, what is the cultural viewpoint when it comes to mental health for you, like in India? Is it something that's socially acceptable? Do people kind of shy away from it? And it's just like, oh, we don't kind of talk about those things.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of stigma still around mental health, and mental illness is something else completely, but people don't even talk about mental health. They focus on the more physical parts of it. They are not aware about, mental health, and they're not even aware about, see, rural people are not at all aware about, mental illnesses. Urban people are still more aware about it, but there is a lot of stigma. Even, well educated people, they are not able to talk about it freely with other people. We have to be secretive, sort of.
Mhm.
But it is all it is good to see that, more students are taking up psychology, and more people are becoming psychologists, and different psychologists like clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists. So India is seeing a, you know, change in how we view mental health and mental illnesses. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess, did you feel supported, or at least that you had the resources available to you to kind of navigate through the highs and lows of the disease?
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on the family you're around, like the people who are around you. If they are ready to support you, like my family was, my parents are educated, and we live in an urban area, we live in the capital of India. So we
Nice.
had resources. So we had the resources to deal with something like this. We had a mental hospital, mental for mental illnesses, a mental hospital in a closer proximity. Whereas if you live in rural parts of India, you won't have one, So that was there. And I think my family was very supportive, because to deal with an such illness like schizophrenia, it's more challenging on part of, family members, I would
Mhm.
say. Yeah.
So how do you bring, or when you're meeting new people, how do you bring that into the conversation? Is that something that you say off, right? Like, hey, my name is, and I have schizophrenia, or like, how do you just kind of ease that into the conversation without making the other person feel uncomfortable, but you're just like, this is part of who I am, and this is how I kind of live
I
through it.
I think I don't hesitate, like I don't hesitate in sharing it with other people. I do share it, I also share it to inspire other people that, hey, even if you're having this sort of illness or any thing that you're going through, you can still share it with other people. So I tend to share it with other people, but with caution. Only if you're feeling comfortable with the other person, you share it, or if you feel that they would be receptive to hearing your story,
Mhm.
then I share it. But yeah, I go with it.
Yeah,
I never hide it. I never think about hiding it from anybody. Literally everybody that who knows me knows that, I have schizophrenia.
nice. So how do you manage it on like a day-to-day basis? Because I know when we initially spoke, you said that you were able to not take medication for it, and you were kind of able to deal with it from a holistic approach. So can you share some of the things that you've been doing holistically?
Yeah, I think in the initial years, it was very challenging. Since you're a teenager, you start to just feel very overwhelmed. But in the last 3 or 4 years, I've tried to, look at it in a more holistic manner. I've tried to, instead of resenting how I'm feeling, I try to accept it. So I think one word or one approach that has helped me is acceptance. So
Mhm.
accept how I'm feeling, to feel the things that I'm feeling. If I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling unhappy, whatever it is, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, underwhelmed, whatever it is, I feel those things and I slowly let go of them. So that is how I've been. Because if you start to resent your feelings, if you start to just push them away, they're not going to go away, they are going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So one thing is that instead of um pushing things away, pushing how I'm feeling away, I try to take it all in, absorb everything, feel everything, and then let it go. So
Mm.
that is how, I don't think you can just make it vanish. You
Yeah.
can do that, yeah. Feeling things is the way. And then over time, you start to feel comfortable in your own skin, and you start to understand how your body and how your mind is reacting to different things that are happening around you. And in this illness, I think I've seen a pattern in myself in how I feel. around examinations or high pressure situations. So I've now started to understand what to do and what not to do when I'm feeling this way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. It sounds like you had to really get like in tune with yourself. And I think
Yes.
that's something like practically everyone, kind
Yeah.
of struggles with, and it just kind of understanding why, your body may be responding a certain way or why you're feeling a certain
Yeah.
way. So that's
And
dope.
yeah. And then there are still days, where I feel excessively haywire, I would just
Yeah.
say. When you feel too overwhelmed, you feel that you've reached a burnout point, you cannot do anything. So I think that happens with everybody, but when you have a mental illness, when you have a mental health condition attached to it, you experience things on a higher intensity, I would say. So you
Mm,
feel more. Yeah.
yeah.
If
No,
that makes sense.
no,
Yeah.
it totally does. It totally does. So what advice would you give someone who, they either have an existing family member that it was a recent diagnosis, or they've come across somebody? What is some advice you would give them to kind of show support for the person dealing with the illness, whatever it is?
Yeah, I think the first thing would be to acknowledge that the person, that your family member or your friend is going through something or has been diagnosed with something. You have to acknowledge, because what I've seen in India, people just say, "Oh, it's nothing. Oh, it'll
Mm,
be fine. You'll be okay. Do this, do that. You'll be okay." But you really need to acknowledge it for the other person, for the person who's suffering to feel at ease, because otherwise they won't be able to share how they're really feeling with you.
yeah.
And so acknowledging that somebody has a mental illness or has a mental health condition is really important. You
Mhm.
And then to support them, you can support them, I think, sometimes kind words, by speaking kind words to them. Sometimes in illnesses, that are more challenging, you can do work for them that they're not able to do for themselves. Like in schizophrenia, sometimes even doing basic daily things becomes a challenge, like brushing your teeth or washing your face.
Right.
So you need a little motivation from somebody else to even do that. you know Something which is so basic, like brushing your teeth, you'd feel that no, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think support can be offered in many ways. You need to acknowledge that the person has a mental health illness, and you need to help them even through speech. Sometimes we feel so comfortable when the other person is speaking,
Mhm.
positively or in a way that comforts us.
Nice. Well, since you mentioned words, are there, I guess, like any trigger words that you shouldn't say, or specific things that someone might find offensive when it comes to mental health and schizophrenia?
I think just telling people who are patients who have been diagnosed, if you tell them that, hey, it's nothing, or hey, it, it will get okay, it will get better, or it's okay, this is nothing, I've dealt with more things in my life. That comparison should never be made, or
Yeah.
saying that, hey, I've uh, gone through all this. So that should not be there, that sort of comparison. You can't compare experiences of, your own experiences with the experiences of someone who's dealing with a mental illness.
Yeah.
That should not be there. And dismissing people, that, dismissing their illness that is there, that should not be done.
Oh, that's powerful. As you were saying it, I'm like, I could think of like a bunch of other scenarios where
Yeah,
that could definitely be
sometimes.
beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, even, and it is human. Sometimes, we even say it so plainly that, hey, it's nothing, it will be all right. But
Yeah.
to the other person, that can be impactful, like in a way, in a negative way as well.
Yeah.
Because I've had people telling me, hey, it's nothing, it's everybody goes through it. These are just your teenage years, or you're just a young adult. It will be okay eventually, things will smooth over. So it's not, it does not help.
Got it. Okay. So
Mhm.
so you mentioned you're a content writer. So how much of your illness does or doesn't affect the way you create content?
It does. I would say it does, impact how I create content. It has made my content more expressive. See, I love to express myself and I love to share my experiences, whether my experiences are with mental health or dealing with, this mental illness. I love to uh, create content in a way that is more conversational. People understand it. I don't try to be formal and I don't try to, write in a way which is like I'm coming from some higher place. No, I'm very much a normal human and I try to just express myself through my work. That's it. Yeah.
Nice. That's amazing. So what kind do you have, is there one thing that inspires you to create the content the way that you do, or do you have like a routine that you set up for yourself and you're like, I'm gonna create content?
No, no routine, I would say, not yet. I am more instinctual and more creative in my writing process. Whenever my creative juices are flowing, I sit down and I write. I don't know, I cannot write like that way, in a routine sort of way. I cannot do that. I tend to write and I work well within the creative writing space, so I do well with essays and articles and long form content, so that
Yeah.
would be my thing. But I've enjoyed working with scripts as well, so that is also
Ooh.
interesting.
What kind
Yeah.
of scripts have you written? Was it for like a show, a podcast?
It was for a media firm which publishes their videos on Snapchat and other platforms like Facebook, etc. So it was pretty interesting. We used to write about different things. Um,
Nice.
fun stuff. Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. Like unique people or unique things that are happening around the world. So it was really, fun, a fun thing to write. Yeah.
Nice. No, I love it. I love how you just kind of, I don't want to, I mean, what's the expression? You took the bull by the horns, and you just kind of made it your own, or just found a way to thrive in it. And I think that's huge.
Thank
So
you.
kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what message do you want people to know through, your creativity, what you write, and just you as an individual?
I think I would tell people to not be afraid of their feelings, people as humans, we are more afraid to actually feel how we're feeling. That's something that is definitely difficult to really, it's difficult, but we should not be afraid to feel things. We should be more acceptable to how we're feeling. We should slowly take all the things in and then let them go. That is the only way we are going to deal with however we are feeling at the moment. So don't be afraid of your feelings. Acknowledge them, accept them, feel, and then let it go.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
that's, I mean, you can't, that's all that really needs to be said about that part, because I think that's a struggle that everyone kind of deals with, and just,
hmm.
how do I say something without coming off offensive, because that's a really popular word these days, and just, kind of walking that fine line of sensitivity. So that's a huge battle. So thank you for sharing a little bit on that.
Yeah.
And who do you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis to kind of keep your spirits up?
Um, who or what?
Both. I mean, it could be a thing, it could be a person. It just, everyone is different.
I think I have to, say that my family members, my parents, and my younger sister, they've been really very, very supportive in every possible manner there is. They have been very supportive through and through with this whole illness thing and otherwise as well. So my family members, they're really like, we share such a close bond, and it's just everything to me. So I instantly, if they're around me, I feel really, comfortable. I feel strong.
Yeah.
And then I have my friends, but one thing that really makes me feel at ease, or the thing that I resort to when I'm not feeling well, has to be music.
Ooh.
Listening to songs, listening to different types of, just it makes me so happy, and it makes me feel at ease. It makes me feel like it is my thing, you
Yeah.
know. And apart from writing, I did not mention, I think that writing and singing, they're two of my creative outlets. So that is literally it for me. I love to sing. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's a shocker. I learned something new about you today because I did not know that you were a singer. Is there a particular genre that you sing or just whatever is in your
Just
heart?
whatever I like, I try to sing it. But yeah, I do love pop music. And
Nice.
yeah.
Who's your
And
favorite pop artist right now?
Taylor Swift, she has been my favorite artist since, I was a little kid. Yeah, just I crazy about her and her
That's
music.
cool.
It speaks to me, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could create a song, or what if you made a song about your life, what would the title be?
If I made a song about my life, it would have to be something with the word adventurous. Because this
Oh,
has been, a crazy ride. Yeah.
what's the biggest adventure you've been on so far?
The one with my illness, where I try to manage it, which is like still ongoing, continuous, adventure. This is to manage it on a daily basis.
Nice.
Yeah.
So do you have to, or do you plan out your week um so that you're not feeling overwhelmed, or do you have to prioritize certain things with your mental illness?
I am not a plans person.
Okay.
I don't I don't work well with plans. I'm sorry, but I cannot. My life is too. I would say, yeah. I like taking, big and bold decisions. I'm all about being adventurous. So
Okay.
I things as they come. I don't like to plan. Yeah,
So how do you manage stuff?
just it has to be because yeah. One thing you can say is that I prioritize things. So whatever I think needs my attention first, I get done with it. Then I, move forward with other things. But yeah, that has to be there. Prioritizing, I think, is important for anybody. Yeah,
Okay.
but planning is not for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, at least you're honest. You know what works and what doesn't work for
Yeah,
you, and that's
yeah,
and how
that's
many people can say that? So that works for me. So do you
uh,
have any goals for yourself for this year?
this year. Definitely, I want to, get a little bit more healthier, incorporate healthy habits into my life, and then upskilling. I want to learn more about different things within the writing space.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be it. But majorly, I really want to, get more fit, get healthier physically, because mentally I'm every day trying to balance things, but physically it's some, because even because of the lockdown and the pandemic and everything, I've gained a lot of kilos. So that is something that I really need to like work on.
Yeah. Well, one day at a time.
Yeah.
And just kind of figure out what works for you. Is there a particular exercise that you like to do? Like, are you into yoga or anything of that nature?
Not yoga, I would say, just simple exercises for now.
Okay.
Yeah, cycling. I on my cycling machine. I don't have a cycle, but I have a cycling machine, so I cycle on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, stationary
But
bikes are just as effective.
Yeah. And then I love to drink warm water with some lemon or some honey, you know. I
Oh,
in the
that's
morning. Yeah.
I have to try that because I hear a lot of people always do it with cold water, and you're the first person that I met that adds the honey. So that's a nice little twist.
It's good. It tastes okay. It tastes good. Yeah.
I mean, hey,
You
it's kind of
try
like
it.
a
It's
honey
okay.
lemon
I mean, you
tea.
don't, yeah, you don't feel a lot of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one day at a time, one day at a time, it's gonna be okay. Um, well, I want to thank you again for, being on the show. I had a great time talking to you. You're just like a fresh of breath air. And I like your energy, and I got a chance to check out your YouTube page. And that was fun. Where can people find your YouTube stuff and get in contact with all the good
I
stuff that
think
you have going
they can
on?
find me on LinkedIn. That's the place where I'm most active. So
Gotcha.
that would be it. And then on my LinkedIn, I have placed a link to my YouTube channel as well. It's somewhere in the post, but I can share it with people, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm most active on LinkedIn, so people can contact me there.
No, I love it. Do you have any last words of encouragement for the listeners?
I would say being spontaneous, being your natural self, being adventurous, you need to have some sort of uh, thing that gives you happiness. For me, it is adventure. For me, it is traveling, like taking. So just, yeah, it would be that, you should be adventurous. Don't try to follow a certain routine so much so that you get into it too much. Sometimes take a break, do something different.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you again for being on today's episode. I really appreciate it. And I know you were able to help so many people. And I'm excited to see what's in store for you later on in the year. I'm following you. You have my support. And I'm just excited to see your growth and you reach all your ambitions and your goals. Because I think, you do a lot for a young person. Um, and
Thank
you're an up and coming person that we need to keep our eyes on. So
Well,
yeah.
thank you. I mean, thank you for being a lovely host. You give me energy, literally. So,
Yay!
yeah,
Well, I'm glad you can feel it through the screen. I really outside of me always having the energy, I believe energy is real. I heard somewhere
it
along the
is.
line that you can't destroy energy, it's just transferred. So I just try to emit as many good vibes as I can.
Well,
'Cause
thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome.
And you are doing it successfully. I mean, I feel all,
I know for it to be
I
10
feel all
o'clock
charged up.
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It is 11 o'clock.
Yes, so the fact that you're still awake, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for it. So yes, guys, follow Tabassum on LinkedIn. She's on YouTube. I'm gonna drop all her contact information into the link notes. But again, as always, if you haven't heard anyone tell you today, remember you are worthy, you are strong, and you are enough. I will see you next week on another great episode where we're talking about all things self-development, how people are navigating through this life, and just all the amazing resources and tools that are out there because you are never truly alone. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.